My lord, we failed to protect you.
I do not keep the Shumatsuban for the trivial matter of dealing with assassins.
Trivial?
So, what's the situation?
The operation went smoothly. The resistance platoon is hidden near Tenshikaku.
Hang on a second. What are no. Are you seriously telling me that after 5 patches, they're finally deciding to backfill some potholes? Really? All right, listen. So, Ayato's demo dropped, right? And usually in the demo, there's like some flavor, dialogue, and a little bit of stuff around there just to give you an idea about what the character's personality is like, right? So I was not expecting them to actually answer one of my biggest questions about the ending of the last Archon quest in Inazuma, which was, how in the heck did the Resistance Army show up at the exact perfect moment as we are leaving Tenshikaku? And the answer, apparently, is Ayato. You see, Ayato has apparently, this entire time, for the entirety that we've been in Inazuma, he's been basically puppet mastering from behind the scenes the entire time. Like, what? Really? That's what they're going with? Okay. Let's have a really quick review. Okay, so after we save Toma, or rather, Toma saves us, and we run away, Toma goes into hiding, right? And then we decide to go find the Resistance, which should put us on a completely different island. Ayato is still nowhere to be found. We haven't heard anything about him, right? So technically, he shouldn't know anything about us right now either, except what Ayaka's told him, which shouldn't be all that much, unless he's got Shumatsuban like everywhere, which is now a distinct possibility, you realize. So we end up on Watatsumi, we meet up with Teppei, blah blah blah, we get added to Swordfish 2, all that good stuff. Then we meet up with Scaramouche over at the Delusion Factory, pass out, Yai hands over the Gnosis, and then she kidnaps us back to the shrine, we wake up, and now we're in Narukami again. So then we end up running like a lot of errands for Yai, and that's where I think Ayato actually starts helping us out. So I think that after we saved when Toma saved us, Ayaka probably went to Ayato and asked him for a favor, right? So while we were over with Watatsumi and all of them, Ayato might have been gathering intel and prepping. But I also think he went to consult with Yai and Miko. See, Yai and Sara ended up having a confrontation and talking about the Vision Hunt decree and then providing proof that the whole thing was baloney, and we had 3 days to do it. And then in order to get the proof we needed, we had to use the Shumatsuban, which again is under the control of Ayato. The idea that he wouldn't even know what was going on is kinda small at this point. And remember, the way we had to actually help Sayu escape was to provide a distraction. To do that, we had to get a giant firework from Yoimiya. Logically, you would think that Ayato probably performed the whole hide resistance members inside of the city during this point, but there was another point earlier on during the story quests with Yoimiya and Ayaka when there were fireworks going on, so he could have been placing Shumatsuban around the area as early as that, which is also kind of crazy, but not the point. The point is just at one of these 2 times, resistance members were placed there, and actually they probably could have been placed twice. He could have just placed, the soldiers and spies and stuff during, the girls' story quests, and then later actually took the platoon that Goro and Kazuha were a part of and placed them during the whole distraction process with Sayu, right? He could have done that. That is a possibility now. But regardless, we can't forget that it's Yai Miko that was, kind of puppet mastering us into getting Sara to confront the Tenryou Commission, and then she's the one who went kind of nuts and went to confront A, who was having a meeting with Senora, who suspiciously had no one with her in her delegate meetings, which is a little weird because every other time that we've seen her, she's been surrounded by guards. When we first met her with Venti, she was in fact accompanied by at least 4 other Fatui members. And when she was meeting with Zhongli, we were in the Northland Bank, and therefore she was just surrounded by Fatui members. But here, she was completely alone. You cannot convince me now that that was on accident. How much you want to bet that Ayato and Yae Miko were conversing, and Ayato might have had the Shumatsuban, let's say, dispose of or distract some of the guards of Senora? That seems possible. So we take her out, we leave Tenshukaku, and then Kazuha and Goro show up with the most impeccable timing, which we now know is not a complete coincidence. It is because Ayato was responsible for helping the resistance infiltrate the city so they could provide information back to Kokomi so she could actually instruct her troops to be there, which means Ayato might be the reason why the Traveler isn't dead right now, which is also kind of weird. But in order for all of it to get pulled off correctly, Yae Miko and Ayato would have had to conspire at the request of Ayaka, which is just... Why would you put that information in a character demo? But it in the game. Why? Okay, I'm gonna go. I just had to get that out of my system, share it with you guys, and it's one giant plot hole filled. And whether or not it was intentional, I'm glad it was done. But you know what? If it was intentional, then props, that's big brain, but also put it in the game. And if it was unintentional and it's a retcon, well, it's a pretty smart retcon. I'll give it that. I still think we should have seen something of Ayato before this, though. You know, like, I feel like we should have caught a glimpse of him or something. It feels still a little unintentional, but anyway, I digress. Chasm's out in just a few hours, so I'm gonna go prep for that and finish editing this video. So I will see you guys hopefully soon. Take care.